Right, delighted as always to have your company here on cricketnews.com. My name is Sumedh Bilgi. As we build up towards India versus England, we've done a whole lot of talking about India in the last couple of videos. But to be fair and to be nice to our visitors as well, let's take a look at England in this one and take a look at three key factors for England to do well in the series versus India. The number one thing for me, and this applies for everybody that visits India, is how many runs you make versus India. There's an old saying which says if you make 350, 400 runs on an Indian surface in the first innings, there are good chances that you will win a test match. But in the last few years, that has really changed. Now, if you look at England's batting order, you realize that the top order is not very experienced. You look at Burns, Sibley, Crawley, and then you have Root who follows after that, which makes Root the most important batter from an England perspective. The form of Joe Root, and apart from his captaincy, of course, how many runs does the batter Joe Root make in the series will go a long way in deciding how England do well in the series. Now remember, Root's coming into the series while making a few runs in Sri Lanka, of course, and it'll be important for England and for Root in particular as well that he goes on to make more runs in this India series, and he would want to start off the series in the best possible way in the first test in Chennai and begin piling on those runs. Of course, it'll be important for England to ensure that Root stays in the pavilion for as long as possible, but having known and having seen this England top order and the lack of experience and absolutely no experience to show in the Indian subcontinent, Joe Root's form will be very important for England. Alright, the second very important factor is a no-brainer, is how well do England spinners go about their business in India. Now, if you take a look back at the previous series, then you realize that England's spin bowlers have come into India and have had a good time. You look at Monty Panesar, you look at Graham Swan, you look at Moeen Ali as well, who has troubled India a whole lot in the past. How well do Jack Leach and Dom Bess perform in India is going to do a whole lot of deciding for England as to how they go about in this series. Now remember, the duo have done well in Sri Lanka. They've picked up 24 wickets in the series, but playing in India versus an opposition that plays spin really well will be an absolute acid test for Jack Leach and young Dom Bess. Remember, they both they take the ball, they turn the ball in opposite directions, and England will be looking to play that combination. Of course, they have Moeen Ali waiting in the wings as well, but it depends. He's just recovered from COVID in Sri Lanka. Does he play? Does he not play? But at the moment, Dom Bess and Jack Leach will probably play for England in India, and it'll be interesting to see how these two characters go about their business with very less experience in the Indian subcontinent so far. And of course, the final and most important factor for England, I believe, is the form of Jofra Archer. And I say that because, of course, England have a lot of fast bowling contingent in their ranks. They have Stuart Broad, they have James Anderson, who's at the twilight of his career, hitting form yet again. They've got Chris Wokes and a number of other fast bowlers, but Jofra Archer will be pivotal, not just because of how good a bowler he is, but also because of conditions in India, because you realize that the ball reverse swings in the evening, and without the extra pace that Jofra Archer offers, the other bowlers could very well struggle in Indian conditions where there's very little to offer for fast bowlers. So how does Jofra Archer go about it in bowling in India? He of course has experience of bowling in the IPL, bowling with the red ball and bowling in Indian conditions at the beginning in the first half of the day when it gets really hot, and of course later when the ball begins to reverse swing, if it does at all. That's where Jofra Archer will be very crucial for England, and his performance towards the end of the day and of course in the early stages when the ball will swing a little bit will be very crucial for England. Right, India are of course regarded as the overwhelming favourites in heading into this India versus England Test series, but do not rule England out. They are a team that have experienced warheads, who have played in India, who have won in India as well, and of course a young wave of really talented batters at the very top of the order. So it'll be a contest that everyone will be looking forward to, and we at Cricket News will bring you the latest. Stay tuned to cricketnews.com, like, subscribe and share to our YouTube channel, and follow us on our social media handles.